overseen by the committee. Vote 016, Minister. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me go straight into the budget outlook and focus on observations and recommendations. I want to request honorable colleagues to focus their attention.
Procedure. Honorable Guzuri. Honorable, you're very smart.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for recognizing that we cannot do away with our tradition, and that must symbolize this Parliament at all times. I'm moving under Rule 232, Sub-Rule 2, which requires that some documents can, upon request, be inspected by a member. I have listened to the chair submit, and I'm privy to the facts that the sectors he deals with are one of the greatest contributors to emissions in this country. I know traffic congestion costs this country about $1.5 billion annually, and it has made Kampala one of the most polluted cities. I would have wanted to understand whether this committee has ensured whether the various sectors they are handling actually comply with the law, which requires them to integrate climate change into their programming. I can only be able to do that if you exercise your rights and privileges under that rule to help me examine the documents he has laid before this House. Mr. Speaker, I invite you to exercise your rights under that rule and allow me inspect whether this report with its accompaniments which have been laid here actually comply with what the law says. I kindly invite you.
Honorable Koriganda, which rule did you stand? Under what point did you stand?
I said I was moving under Rule 2.
No, under what point did you stand?
No, I said he has laid documents on the table.
No, you stood up under point of order.
No, I said procedure. So
procedure?
I was saying if you could exercise your privileges under that to help me examine the documents he has laid to ensure that they actually comply.
Sure, these are public documents, okay? Please, clerk. Thank you. Chair, proceed.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The compliance with the law. All the ministerial policy statements under the committee's purview complied with the requisite laws and regulation. So it is in order that the honorable member peruses through some of those annexes. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to invite members to focus on vote 016, Minister of Works and Transport, as I give observations and recommendations. Right Honorable Speaker, the unpaid certificate. Right Honorable Speaker, delayed payment to contractors has been and continues to be one of the major factors negatively affecting the construction industry in the works and transport sector. Long outstanding payables are an indication of poor budgeting and cause a risk of litigation and payment of penalties for delayed periods. Consequently, Right Honorable Speaker, contractors lose the properties they use as collateral to acquire loans to execute government projects. Commercial banks, who are the main financiers of the industry, are losing confidence in government-funded projects, making these projects less competitive. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee noted that the proposed budget for 2025 has a budgetary requirement of 1,735 billion, that is 1.7 trillion, towards arrears and unpaid certificates for the National Roads Department, and yet only 150 billion has been allocated, leaving a funding gap of 1.5 trillion. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee therefore recommends and urges government to provide additional resources to a tune of 1.5 trillion to clear the outstanding debt in order to avoid paying interest, which creates an additional financial burden to the taxpayers. Right Honorable Speaker, on the rehabilitation of Tororo-Gulu railway line, the committee was informed that on April 13, 2023, Government of Uganda, through the Ministry of Works and Transport and Uganda Railways Corporation as the implementing agency, signed a contract with the China Roads and Bridge Corporation to rehabilitate the 382 kilometers of Tororo-Gulu meter gauge at a cost of 199 billion. Honorable Speaker, this project is fully funded by the government of Uganda and was supposed to take a period of 2 years, with the completion date set at July 2025. The meter gauge railway will support government's efforts to increase stock and quality of strategic infrastructure in order to accelerate Uganda's competitiveness. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee noted that while the ministry had budgeted for 90 billion towards compensation, rehabilitation, and supervision of civil works along the Tororo-Gulu meter gauge railway, only 46 billion, Right Honorable Speaker, was provided, leaving a funding gap of Uganda shillings 44 billion. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee takes cognizance of the crucial role that the Tororo-Gulu meter gauge railway will unveil for northern Uganda and Uganda as a whole upon completion in terms of boosting economic growth through facilitating trade and transport, connecting the region to global markets, and boosting key value chains like agriculture, cement, oil and gas, and therefore recommends and urges government to provide additional 44 billion for the meter gauge railway if it is to be completed by the end of 2025. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee further recommends that the meter gauge railway to Gulu be extended to Pakwach because the rail line infrastructure originally terminated at Pakwach and is still in existence, although it needs rehabilitation. Right Honorable Speaker, the new standard gauge railway line, the committee was informed that the standard gauge rail line has been allocated 79 billion under Government of Uganda counterpart funding and 2.2 trillion under external financing for the year 2025-2026. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee was further informed that although the EPCT contract was signed in October 2024 and construction was expected to commence this financial year, although sourcing of more external financing will still take some time. In view of the above, Right Honorable Speaker, the government of Uganda and the contractor agreed to start part of the preliminary works on the project under limited notice to proceed arrangement for which the budget is euros 75 million. The works were expected to commence in January 2025, and the process to effect this is ongoing. Whereas the preliminary works are set to commence soon and full works in financial year 2025-26, the external budget of 2.2 trillion is inadequate, but the budget of 79